Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where our aim is to connect our global family of churches with our executive director. Mark, historically and currently, we build together relationally in Sovereign Grace churches. Can you talk to us a little bit about that value that priority we place on that relational dynamic? And then you have some updates for us. But could you talk to us about that? What you're thinking right now?
It's a value that we've always had, thanks to the leadership of CJ, our founder, who's just really built that into our culture.
Yeah,
Building relationally is really a part of the gospel culture in Sovereign Grace, especially among the pastors who really see themselves as brothers, going
right.
through gospel ministry and mission together. And we captured on paper. It's captured in our seven shared values. The seventh value, united in fellowship, governance, and mission. And that
Right.
that just, at least on paper, tries to capture that value. But I think it's important to always keep before us, especially as we expand globally, because as we expand globally, which I believe is going to happen by God's grace, it
Yes.
will be important that we don't lose that value, and that we have ways of connecting with one another even across the globe. So as I think about the future of this podcast, if we don't get canceled after season one, Ben, uh,
When is
because
season
I
one over? Is this just
yeah,
I feel
I
like we
don't
might be
know.
in
I gotta
season one for a few years here.
I got to check with our producer about that. I don't know when it's over, but if we don't get canceled after season one, I sort of envision the future of this podcast as being one means to keep guys updated on what's happening in different churches
Right.
across the globe. At least as one way to keep us connected together relationally.
Yeah. And I think that's for many of us what stings so much about not having the pastors conference next
Mm,
month,
hmm
because many of us, most of us have grown so accustomed to having those days to connect, to build together, to rekindle friendship and fellowship. But
hmm
Lord willing, we will have a pastors conference next year. You've got
Yes,
some
Lord
up
willing.
You've got some updates for us as pastors to be thinking about in some churches down south.
Yeah, I just have gotten emails over the last few days, actually. One from Joe Alcantar, who's in El
Mm.
Paso, and one just last night from Carlos Contreras, who obviously is in Juarez. And what's sort of unique there is in El Paso and Juarez, there's an outbreak of COVID. um,
Yeah.
Joe emailed me and just said, "Can you be praying for our city and for our churches?" So we have two churches in El Paso: Cross of Grace Church, that's led by Ricky Alcantar, and then Misión de Gracia, led by Helman Avila, a Spanish-speaking church. And then we have Iglesia Gracia Soberana in Juarez. And
Right.
those two cities are uniquely connected together culturally, relationally, economically.
Mm.
So the impact is really being felt in both of those cities. I know from what Carlos told me last night that actually patients in El Paso are being asked to volunteer to be airlifted to other hospitals in the state, just to
Wow.
make more room for the hospitalization needs that they have in that city. Carlos was also saying that they have now at least 25, over 25 members who have tested positive. Most of them have mild symptoms,
Mm.
some don't. So he's just concerned for
So,
his church, as is Ricky and Joe Alcantar, as is Hellman. So I just wanted to give that update because I think that's one way that we stay connected relationally. If
right.
you guys are listening to this podcast, please pray for those three churches: Cross of Grace
Yes.
Church, Mission de Gracia, and Iglesia Gracia Soberana, and for those pastoral teams who are seeking to shepherd and care for their people during kind of just a unique time there.
For sure. Sad to hear, and I'm sure we will be praying as a family of churches for those churches down south that we're connected with. Any other thoughts about our relational building together before we conclude here?
Yeah, I think it's what you just said when you use that phrase, family of churches. Of course, we're a denomination. We
Right.
can't deny that. We've got that book of church order, but we never want to
Right.
lose being a family of churches, which is connected together relationally. And I think that relational connection really does strengthen our mission. Um, partly because we know that we're doing mission together, but also because I think it can be a means by which we stay united. And unity is necessary for mission to move forward.
Right.
So I just think it's important, not just for the benefits of what we enjoy when we see people at the pastors' conference and share a meal with them when we haven't seen them for a year, but it's also practically in the day to day, it does impact our mission together.
It truly does. And Jesus said as much in John 17 when he prayed and said that the world will know that the Son was sent from the Father by our unity. And so thank
Mm-hmm.
you, Mark, for leading us and encouraging us in that unity. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you here soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.